Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Imperator Rome, Invictus, Sogdia, in which the last episode we did a lot of domestic work, and it's the first time that we did not fight a war that we start, because we wanted to take a break from warfare and focus on the here and the now. And that here and the now is a bit of a big deal. But the biggest significant progress that we made was the construction of the roads, starting from Alexandria Eschate, and we connected the road all the way down to this city of Sibai there that was built by previous owners, whether if it was the Mauryans that did this or the Greco-Indians. But I've invested heavily in this city because one day this will be a great and grand city that I can imagine. And notice that you can add a little bit of provincial loyalty here while making these local citizens. I mean, obviously, it's very hard to convince slaves to be happy anyhow. But the output of citizens isn't great. But anything for the get-go. But a forum is always nice, actually. Every city should have a forum at some point, even though it's a very expensive building to have. And also, in this episode, our king, Rush, long he has reigned, is in poor health. He's got the gout. It's only a matter of time before he passes. While we had a bit of a change of succession. Artaxerxes was set to be the king, but lately he's become incapable, and we fear that he's going to be a liability to this kingdom. So we had to get him out of there. And thus we named Nanidat as the next king of Sogdia. I mean, he's got very high martial skills, so he would have been a damn good general, I deserved, but he just, well, he's about to turn 15 now, as you could see. He is now 15 years old. And he's a healthy young man. Well, he's not a man just yet, just wait one more year. Which I hope that I'll have time to see him reach to adulthood before I finally expire. Thus this will delay turning Alexandria Eschate into a metropolis as we have long promised. The man of sound reputation at Bahuman Taxin, a nobleman of great virtues, used to start to spar furiously while standing at court. Such behavior is unbecoming of these people of stature. However, we've been called upon to take the side on the latest conflict. Oh, no. Tell them to stop bickering, you two. Thus retaining my all-time high popularity at the very end. No. Coastal port adjacent to the major river. Maybe one day we ought to consider building a city of boot for reasons, much like the name. But the real question is it even a center of trade? I would prefer to build cities on regional centers of trade, and Boot is not one of them. Like there's one there and one there, and Gargant is logical. While in areas like Gandhara, fortunately we own Taxila, not Sakala, not Madra, which are both next to each other, which is a little unfair in my personal opinion. Not that. Sogdiana. Samarkand is not listed there, but Alexandria Eschate is, which I would love to improve upon that as well. But I think having a metropolis would make up for it. Obamna, Kucha, Kashgar, Terran base. Bactriana, Alexandria Orku, Bactra, Alexandria, Trine. Let me look. Production focus. We must produce this amount of grain to gain a unique trading grain modifier. So that's how much you currently produce. I'm just looking because this is all unique to me. I never really paid special attention to that. To gain a unique. Ooh. You know, we do own the Jade provinces, you know, up in the Terran Basin. We must produce 5 Jade to gain a unique trading Jade modifier. What about Lapis Lazuli? We can do that too. Ah. I get it now. And silk. You don't have enough of that. I want to gain that. Oh, okay, we'll consider the Jade thing. Because, you know, Barak. Find that place. Oh, we own that. Why didn't you tell me you... Hang on here. Gains production focus. What does that have to do with anything? Modifier is gained when at least 75% of production of a trade good is controlled. That's what that does. I just want to look at that for future efforts because I never really paid attention to it till now. Interesting. And do not forget, another reason why I want to turn this to a metropolis. Number of goods produced is greater or equal to 4. And that means you got to produce 4 silk over there. And this would help it. And that means once we turn this to metropolis, we got to start building mills for the local surplus. Even if it means we got to go get a lot of slaves in here. And it's kind of too bad that this is not an integrated culture because the population is so large that we would utilize that research, much like how we are doing here. And the same thing that I'm attempting to do with Taxila, because of the wisdom of Taxila and what that does here. See? That. So that's why we're aiming to try to expand to that. I'm in very poor health, but I will most definitely live long enough to see our heir grow up. And he's pious, so just like me. So nothing will change on the national tax, but the omen power will be up. So he's got that little bit of zeal up, which is always good. The only thing you need to work on now is your charisma when you become king. And that time will be coming soon. And you're going to get a military trade which will improve that a little further. Along with whatever you may need. Alright, no more road building. Get to your position because things are gonna get hairy. Chase. A statue made for me. That's for Bactra. I'm grateful. But it matters. There. Now he is proclaimed theocratic monarchy. Why on earth would I want to do that? I mean, if I had my way, I would love to become a plutocratic monarchy, just to live up to what the Sogdians were like back at that time. At least during the time of the late antiquity, during the days of the Sogdian city-states, they were all plutocratic monarchies. They were city-states, strictly. I mean, I would love to do that one day, but that's only if we're strong enough to take on any country in the world, and to the point where we will not be military intensive anymore and just rely on, well, making a profit and all that. Just make a little. You have turned 16 and you are technically inflexible. Ugh. And you want a spouse immediately. Do you now? You're willing to invest in that. Suggest training. Propose that instead of doing absolutely nothing, some training is done. So, okay, I'll pay some political influence too. He will begin training to increase his martial further. I never knew that was an option. Let's try that for the first time. I never paid attention to that till now. So now he's training. So that means he'll be spending more of his wealth. And when the ambition's fulfilled, he is training to be the best. Whatever that means. Maybe get rid of that negative trait of his. You shouldn't be looking for a woman this soon. That's all I gotta say about you. And that would be one of my last acts. Also for future efforts, when we make more money, invest on building a navy. The Indus Navy. The Indo-Sogdian Navy. Dominant religion, not state religion. That explains, you know, that provincial loyalty keeps going down a lot. You can have as many court of laws as you like, but it still don't make a difference. They had a terrible monsoon recently. That's another thing they ought to deal with. Oh, it's finished. So, did you get it? Well, that option's gone now, so whatever training he got, I hope he got what he needed. But now he's investing in opportunities, which he's going to make himself some money as he's finished his training. All together now. Hang on, son. I know it's a little too late, but I mean, you're not my son. You're, you know, obviously excellent at your craft. You should drill the troops. You know, get a few loyalists while you drill. Because why the hell not? By loyalists, I mean lower cohorts. That's what I was trying to refer to. Now, don't do anything. Don't build a metropolis. Don't build any cities. Because soon it's going to turn to near death. I want to spend my remaining years, you know, just quiet. Let the gods take me. I'm gonna go see my godly father again. And, yeah, and all that. And keep the stability all the way up, just to be ready for this succession. Because when this succession takes, it's going to cause a stability drop, which will be very high still. Looking at the incoming migration. Really, seconds from far away. Yo, dude. I saw something else. You know how we still plan on building that city? That would be very good. Those people over in Cosmia could kiss my ass for this. We'll be sending Sogdian populations in the... You know, it doesn't cost much. They're not going to be happy with this, but screw it. Gurgens gains colony. This will increase the migration attraction. Population assimilation speed. Sogdian population will be sent to found new colony in Cosmian territory. Because I say so. And we're going to build a city there immediately. Because we can afford it. The best way to ensure lasting loyalty to regions is always be sent to those we trust to rule for us. Let us send our trusted Sogdian men and women to build a new life deep in foreign territory. Yeah. We're making changes here. See, it doesn't cost as much as you would think at first. So, I'll be willing to build just one city, and that'll be there, where we have a port prepared for it. The metropolis can wait. That'll happen under Nanaidat. So the arrival of Sogdian settlers has hardly endeared the local population to us, but the foundation of the colony in this area is without a doubt the best way to exert control here in the long run. Even some local Khwarizmi inhabitants will see how our city will prosper and surpass any previous settlements that we have had in the area before this land was confiscated. This is for the best. No Sogdian from Alexandria Eschate moved there. So we're making changes around here, whether they like it or not. And maybe one day, this will become an improved center of trade to help the economy and more. And they're going to remain loyal to us, even if we're giving them harsh treatment. Making some changes around here. structure city will be done in 2 years. I will not live long enough to see that. But make good of what you will. Everybody is very supportive. Legitimacy is gonna hurt. The sack of the guidance of the moon shrine. Way over in Burma. Whoever did this, we will remember this crime. You know, I could afford to build a holy site, but I still have interest in trying to convert to Zoroastrianism when we integrate Arakosia and Gedrosia, which I'll do that when we conquer Salvira. Last perk. Aha! There's some of your legitimacy back up. The province may be disloyal and we can't build anything there, but they'll come around. They will soon learn. They will soon learn, as this is a colony now. Got his first lower cohort. The more lower cohorts you have, the slightly more popular you'll be in time. But there are other ways for you to become popular. You will notice once you become king. You will learn. And you'll be taught well. We ought to improve that city in the future at some point. Because lapis lazuli, we do have enough of those. Production. Which, if you want to look at that again, all lapis lazuli producing territories will gain. You know, actually, Domna is just an example. That's why it's named that. Slaves named for local surplus down. So, again, the requirements is you need a population up to 50 at least. And number of goods, only 1 is produced, so we need to start building mills here. But we ought to get rid of that harsh treatment thing. If you want them to come in and bring them to work. Because that's what slowing it down. So just try the usual cultural simulation. And as for here, Freeman's very happy, but can't get any more happy citizens. Give them these. At least try to make the nobility happy. At least. Doesn't say near death now, because that's what's below very poor health. 2 loyal cohorts. A struggle between the religious echelons of our society and the peasants recently come into light. As the populace at large feels like the religious ceremonies are inaccessible and distant. On the other hand, our high priest and his attendants demand a distance and need to do their jobs properly. An argument that the peasants have no rights to the inner workings of our religious ceremonies. Like it or not, man. The peasants are right to turn open the gates to the temples. Stability is at an all-time high and will remain so at the death of this great king here. Still very poor health. No near death now. Never said yet. So just keep spending on what do you want to spend. What would be good for? Because obviously we got a very rebellious territory. Boy, I've been wondering what's... Oh my goodness, the Shungas are in civil war. Just be glad that they ain't got nothing against the Shunga. And the Shunga's not interested in this. Willing to spend big on forums. There it is. You've reached it. 80. Now build a mill. You want that silk to be produced. Now it's going to be another year before Gargantua will be built, which is now a Sogdian colony officially. Who else lives up there? Sackets. Right. Can't do that. Greco-Indian. Does not have colonial ventures and must own a province. Must own a province. Never mind. Defeat the damn event first. We have issues keeping track of our satrapies as well as taking care of our people at large. Before our bureaucracy stretched thin, our subjects have become ever more unruly. As things stand now, we have to take care of one of the groups if we're unable to control both of them. We gotta... God dog it. We will care for our people. Unfit overlord. And it's gonna remain that way for 5 years, so don't get too worked up about it. You know, the next 5 years is going to about caring more about our nation and building metropolises, and among other things. As I'm near death now, so get ready. Any minute now. And this is the grandson of Artaxerxes, in which he wants to become a great warrior as well, in addition to his charisma. I am quite unsure if I made the right call. I mean, he's still a child, so I guess you made a right call. Whereas we got a responsible adult in charge soon. That was easy. Alexandria Eschate still produces a lot of food because it's built in the farmlands. Come on. There ain't nothing like that. You know what? Do it. We've waited long enough. And it's about time. In 2 years, Alexandria Eschate, Alexandria the Furthest, will become a metropolis. I'm going to use that New York analogy again, where Samarkand is Albany, and this is New York City. Center of trade is another reason. And you can't change that. Right, who wants to be the governor? Except a bunch of you people are corrupt. Okay, it'll be you. But if I see you become more corrupt than ever before, you and I are going to have a problem. It was 19, now it's 17. You can only build up to 2 more. A king is expected to be a patron of arts. Artistic depictions of the king cement the legitimacy in the eyes of the people. Styled in a manner of popular gods and heroes in these sculptures, paintings and murals often worth their hefty price. This is for the nation, not to me personally. We must not neglect the arts. This will help, my son, to get his legitimacy up faster. I mean, not right now, because obviously with other looks. Our ongoing attempts to woo the highly skilled stateswoman of Rion is a counter to hitch. Being a true woman of the people, Rion started investing in the creation of a beautiful monument to please Sogdia people. To complete this mammoth task requires a large number of able-bodied souls. Oh, if we would find such assistance, she would surely be in our debt. Actually, for once, why not? We're not at war, and we don't plan on going to war anytime soon. There we go. Got some of it back. Now you got enough money to build another city if you wish. Or perhaps another metropolis. Here. If it can get the increased population capacity. Here we go. Okay, but first, religious advances. This is what I want. One is monthly rule of popularity, ensuring that everyone has a recourse to appeal against actions or indictments, protects both the people, and gives our government an air of fairness. Now, FUG, what does that stand for? In Rome, slaves which had escaped and been caught were branded as with the letters FUG for fugitives, leaving a lasting impression on themselves and all who viewed them as to the dangers of rebellion. So those integrated cultures from within will be a little more happier now. Now, reduced governorship, with some control of the province centralized on locals sure to grow more loyal to the nation as a whole. So this ups the provincial loyalty a little bit. Makes it slightly easier. And now this. Our freed slaves will graduate to a distinct class, get them something to aspire to, and keep them in mind. And national slave happiness is one of the better options. Just looking at other options. I'd like to see more of those culture groups be happy with us under our rule. Them being happy means they be less ruly, and in turn turns down the Prince of Loyalty. So with reduced governorship, see, now it slows it down a little, which is good to have. Whereas this one is still a bit of a problem, but now it's become slightly manageable unless you want to change policies again. That is, unless if you can make the citizens happy, not the slaves. So, again, it's due to those unhappy pops is what's giving you the issue. Yeah. Okay, let me look at the local tax. Very low difference. Because colonial ventures, that's why we're spending on. Speaking of colonial, coming of the city of Garganj, our extension of new privileges and investments of the local infrastructure sees Garganj grow from relative humidity to a true Sogdian city. While it still has some way to go before it can rival the great cities of our age, the past 2 years have ushered a new era of growth and urbanization in this territory. It will now produce urbanware, as it always has. See, now it's Sogdian population, no longer Coesmian. So I'm sure they're going to start coming around. But keep in mind, it's still disloyal, so we may have to come back to that in the future. Don't you do it. If I was gonna find somebody suitable for you. Well, unfortunately, they're all old broads. Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time with this. Because I think I just thought of a new idea, but that's gonna take some convincing. Some money, some political influence, all that. So when you complete your ambition, I want you to get rid of that immediately. Get rid of your spouse if she's not even that skilled. whoever you may find. So, did you get the lucky girl? Yes. Who's this? Oshan Ongsen. She don't compare. I'm talking about skill-wise. She's submissive and benefactor. Okay. I guess it's a good match for you. I approve. I approve of this marriage. Legitimacy back up to 100%. Now I can die happy. There's little I can do now. Well, except maybe, Oh yeah, that's fine. It's like now we gotta encourage those people to, you know, make them come over here. Because, you know, what we gotta do now is, that was simply for the sake of it. Even though I realize that comes from here, not from elsewhere. But anyway. Wherever these Sogdian crewmen are gonna go, but they can't stay here because it's overpopulated. As much as I'd like to turn that into a metropolis as well. We ought to build a forum whenever that opportunity is given. There's also that small neglected city that we never bothered. Why not? Go to commercial districts. You haven't got out of tribal yet. And you haven't ditched the Morians, which is something I still want to get to. Remember, in future, fabricate 2 more claims. Salvira and Panchan. This huge sway of land will be Sogdian territory one day, and we will be the masters of the Indus. That's what I imagine. That is what I envision of my son will do. Practice makes perfect. Experience is the teacher of all things. The Legion of Sogdiana has shown rare Alexandria I don't know how to pronounce it. Alacrity is throwing themselves into the arms of the god of war with gusto. You mean my father? He's the god of war, the liberator of Sogdia. Their enthusiasm and practice at battles is like proof to keep success to pass knowledge and experience on the young, instead of having them learn have them learn in a hard way. Fighting side by side with full trust in the man next to you, as effective, cohesive combat unit strikes fear into the foe's heart. The enemy will dread these men. So now it has been given another award. This legion is known for this tradition of encouraging initiative and exceptional standards, successfully passing hard-earned knowledge for new recruits and applying past learnings. And of course, I just noticed, due to the huge population increase of Sogdiana in general, what we've been doing all along, we can also have more room to further increase the size of the army if we want to. Which I'd love to have more heavy infantry, along with archers, light infantry, and a bit more cavalry too. Not the elephants, for heaven's sakes. And no need for chariots either. I forgot the two Parthias still exist. And I guess they're done with the revolt. I guess the loyalists win, because I recognize that last name. Oh, Armenia won. I just noticed this used to be their territory, but the Armenians are making a comeback as they control the coast. Right then. We got a year until this city is turned into a metropolis, and this is it. Nanaidat. Nauru, our glorious nation. So he's got, well, obviously green means excellent, blue is average or good, and 3 is bad. The red coloring here. So we bring sad news. Rash died of a heart attack. Gout. At the age of 79. He was the King of Sogdia. He was the head of the family. And obviously, can't put myself back in now. Because that's not how it works. Unless you want to lead the levies yourself. Which is an alternative. Yeah, that's an alternative. So it's like, okay, let's raise the levies so we can support the main army of whoever's running, and I get to be the tactician and all that. But some of those cohorts are still loyal to me. I could increase a little bit of more and more popularity as time rolls on. And I've been plotting quietly, but not anymore now. And there's obviously Avagate, which of course, don't pick him. You know these Gandharis, right? Let's please them. No honor guard? Cannot have an existing honor guard. Oh yeah, the governor. Right, he's still around. Forgot. That'll help, but Sogdia won't like it. And this other thing, any additional province for Gandhari is dominant territory. That helps. It makes it an independent country. Oh no, don't do that. There must be at least 2 cultures of at least 100 provinces between them in the same culture group. Cultures that are currently in our country that belong to the Aryan culture group gains 5% happiness till the end of the game, and gradually conflated with the administrative culture. Needs to be 100. But you know, there are others out there when we expand further on down, even though the Greco-Bactrians are growing by the numbers. Especially when we get them in. Especially you up there. So our stability remains high, but legitimacy down. And my unpopularity, I need to do something about that. I'm willing to spend my money for this, my personal wealth as well. So ruler can gain extra popularity from competing in games, so... Yep, first act. The common folk love gladiators, chariot races, and athletics, even more than they love Nanaidat. Luckily, Nanaidat knows this all too well. So we're holding them said games. And then I will, well, they don't have the personal funds for that anymore. But we're trying to get it up. Winning wars make you popular. Don't worry too much about this legitimacy issue. Don't get too worked up about it. Khwarizmi and Zoroastrian. No. Don't ever appoint him. He's a bad man. So we ought to go for him. Just to take up that spot. I got my eye on you. Now, due to this big boom of population growth, how does that compare to Shuka? Well, we're catching up to Persian Empire now. Surprised they never bothered converting the Zoroastrian home heartlands. Yeah, I get it. In true Sogdian fashion, our benevolent ruler, Nanadat, has ordained that there will be a period of games and festivities. While it is not commonplace, many of the common folk and court alike are pondering whether Nanadat himself will take to the sands and prove his brave for all to see. Bring on the challenge. I've been training my whole life for this. Sogdian Games. In anticipation of the long-awaited event, the skies over Alexandria Eschate open, and lightning bolts are hurled down as if by divine hands themselves. The competitors array themselves in sodden garments, and each grass their as they prepare for the dreaded chariot race. The crowd jeers in jubilation as the Naidat appears, flanked by a detachment of royal guard. None dare to question the majesty of such a titan of competition. It comes, however, as a surprise when the Naidat slips and falls at the very last moment, automatically forfeiting the match. The royal guard quickly cleared the arena of competitors, tending to the reeling Naidat. A splendid effort nonetheless, even though I took a bit of a hit there, but you'll manage. I'm healthy still. Well, since you have ports now, you can go down to most of the Indus. There will come a time where I will implement Royal Army, which you'll be able to raise an unrestricted number of legions, and we can maintain them. But I need a lot more political influence than that, and very high stability, which we can obviously do that now. That keeps popping up, isn't it? Wow, we're doing way better on the monthly research than ever before. Citizens and nobles. Again, I'm particularly pretty happy about that. I want you to go down there. Leprosy. He was the physician. You'll do your minor character. It's a wonder that the man is from the Macedonian Royal Guard, and yet he's governor. And we've chosen that because he's a nice man. You know, I never ever looked this up. Special pumps. Special pumps are sent to territories to perform specific duties to help push the agenda of the state. A maximum of 5 of each special pump is allowed at any time for the entire nation. Ah, and after 25 years, special pumps will perish and can be replaced in the new territory. Alexandria also prospers. Not... You got the wrong Alexandria. The one I care about is this one. The Council of Alexandria also sent an envoy proclaiming that harvest, trade, and taxation will all produce a huge surplus this year. A splendid show of national spirit, and decided to offer the additional income to the state. Perhaps we could let them spend the money for their own uses, however. Give it to the merchants to them. Better take advantage of that now, since I'm pretty intensive with commercial districts. Which means more trade imports. One of these days, we gotta build another Sogdian Emporium, which doesn't cost as much as I originally remembered. The question is, where? But please remember what that does. It increases local tax up big time, and the local-based trade routes down. Tax income is, well, we're trying to build a metropolis right now. In fact, it's a metropolis now. Now, would you look at that? Population capacity out of the metropolis. Thank goodness. Oh, you fool, you forgot to go for an oratory focus. I would like to be the man of the people. You need to start going that way. Where were we? See, now in this territory produces 2 silk. We need to get it up to 4. So, give me 2 more mills. So slaves need for local surplus. That will help it. And the foundry, I recall there's a innovation for that. To build a foundry, you need centralized production. Look that up. That's got to be under civic. Centralized production. Centralized production. I'm looking. If it's not there, then it's got to be somewhere else. Maybe it's this way. It used to be. very, very intensive military, but we kind of changed it. Centralized production. And that's not it. Ah, here it is. Put that on planning mode. 1, 2. Okay. Well, actually, 3. So, starting experience, this one. That we have to look forward to getting in future. Build foundries. As a reminder, this should help with the starting experience up. Base resource production up. This would help you, you know, make more silk around here. It can manage on its own. Too bad we can't import anything that'll make those citizens happy, but we certainly can for the nobles. Now, if only we could do the same thing for Samarkand. Don't forget the idea of a Sogdian Emporium, which I'm kind of debating. Should I put it in Taxila or down in Sibai? Because neither of them produce good tax income. Because obviously it's ran by governor. But I'm a firm belief that we should have more imports. Why the hell not, that tavern? And don't forget about this other thing. But again, you won't have enough silk. But we can produce more lapis lazuli and a jade. Which of course, we do have a few provinces that has jade. Such as this and that. And Kucha too. We have long neglected here. Well, we aim to change that someday. A gift from the sea. What the heck? The Naidat was fast asleep in his bedchambers when all of a sudden there were loud screams and the sounds of breaking furniture. Ripping the Naidat from his reverie. There was a flash of steel, a few frantic moments there. The Naidat's bodyguards were holding Sekatanada on the ground. What came next was a story so ridiculous, so strange for that a moment, the Naidat thought he was still dreaming. But no, this has actually happened. It appears Sinke, clearly a simpleton, had purchased a gigantic tuna in a fish market. He had brought it to Samarkand as a present. How he managed to sneak past your sentries in the middle of the night remains a mystery. What? When pressed for more details, Sidka keeps sobbing the same story. It's the biggest fish I've ever seen in Naidat. I just had to give it to you. I didn't mean any harm. Honest. In fairness, next to his feet is truly the largest tuna I've ever seen. Gonna do that. Thanks, I guess. Here, take some gold for your troubles. import some grain from other countries. A new military structure. Seems to have taken his job as general as he started with working the whole infrastructure of the troops signed up. However, these changes started seeing a lot of officers and troops who are loyal to the general over Sogdia. A troubling development of what the future might hold. He knows best, I hope. Maybe we should consider building that city. I mean, there's a lot of food here, but it's winter time, so it's a mild winter, so that stuff tends to happen. So, yeah, put some grain there. Now, this is part of Jade of Pishan, and then of course there's the Jade of Yutien, which is Favamna, of course. There's differences with the bonuses you get when you complete them. There are no barbarians up here, is there? Let me see. No, not anymore. So, this doesn't need to be there anymore. Oh, just do it. I originally opposed to building that city for many years, but no, this is going to become a reality here. Sogdians live here, ritualistic. They've been here for a long time. We just never did anything with them, until now. Because now I'm invested in the jade business. And plus, we don't control all of the South Tarn Basin. And you always arrive late when we needed you the most, so perhaps we gotta start integrating all of you soon. Because look what you got. None of them jade. What? Still, something to be noted. Including Silk. I don't need your friendship. Trying to become more and more popular. Yep. It's just adjusting my shoe. Yeah, you're going to start picking up that habit now. And that is building more cities too whenever needed. Even though the areas that we plan on taking, a lot of cities. With the greatest threat to any nation that comes not from without, but from within. A constant infighting between those who would name themselves there can consume countless resources and lives. Our spies at the court discern that Oxyates, a man who's made no secret of his ambitions for the throne, is plotting to ensure his future by doing away with the competition. We should keep a watchful eye on Oxyates. Nonsense, you should put more faith in the subjects. Scholar. Good thing we did not name you heir. After the end of all this. Oxyates has been spending increasing quantities of time with another petty claimant to our throne. So, These two are natural enemies, so it might be wise to be particularly careful with this developing situation. Unfortunately, we were unable to acquire much information on what the two conspirators were discussing. Perhaps you could convince him not to get involved. Yeah. Emboldened by support, Oxyates approached the king the night that and demanded we favor him with a fine gift. He cleared his tender anger, Samtish, a fellow claimant to the throne. Why do we want to waste resources on such a pointless individual? We'll be sure to build a forum over there too. At a recent feast, our loyal subject Samtish was making merry when he fell mysteriously and suddenly ill. We suspect that he might have been poisoned by those seeking to do away with the competition for the throne. If we value his life at all, we should all seek assistance immediately. He's a tribune. Bring in a holy man at once. He didn't die, otherwise I would have got that notification that he died. A character in our court died. I could become good-natured. That was Oxyates again. Now, good-natured, that means the subjects will be loyal to us, especially Persis over that. Again, won't go down that route anytime soon. Instead, we're going to go for Sogdian Rock, which will give us 3 free province investments, which is something that I've been waiting on for a very long time. When active, fort defense plus 15, base food capacity up, and national fort infrastructure capacity up. So this is for the entire nation. News had come in that a large number of natives had taken refuge on the rock of Sogdia. Among them, the wife and the daughters of Oxyates the Bactrian, who had himself refused to submit to Alexander and had chosen this refuge for his family in the belief that it was impregnable. To the rock, therefore, Alexander advanced. He found that it rose sheer on every side against attack. The natives had provisioned for a long siege, and deep snow on its summit caused a double disadvantage for making the ascent more awkward for the Macedonians, and all that ensured the defenders an unlimited supply of water. Nevertheless, Alexander was determined on the assault, and the reason for his determination was the natives' offensive bragging, which made him angry. He called on them to discuss terms and offered to allow them to return to their homes on the condition of surrendering the stronghold. But their answer to the offer was a shout of laughter. Then they told Alexander to bring soldiers with wings to capture the rock for him, as no other sort of person could cause them the least anxiety. As a result, Alexander proclaimed that he would give 12 talents to the first man up, 11 to the second, 10 to the third, and so on to 12, who would receive 300 gold darics. Around 300 men who in previous sieges had experience in rock climbing have now assembled and set off under cover of darkness to the steepest part of the rock face, which they knew was the least likely to be guarded. Then, driving their pegs either into the bare ground or to such patches of snow which seemed almost like to hold them in strain. They hauled themselves up, wherever each could find a way. About 30 lost their lives during the ascent, but the rest reached the top as dawn was breaking, and the summit of the rock was theirs. Alexander sent a crier to shout the news about the enemy's advance post that they might now surrender, as men with wings had been found who were already in possession of the summit. The unexpectedness of the sight was a severe shock to the natives, who were so alarmed by the handful of Macedonian troops that they could see that, imagining a larger force, and fully armed at that, must be in possession, they surrendered. That was the story of the Sogdian rock at that time. A shameful chapter in the Sogdian culture, because they were duped. They could have just held their positions, and they didn't. They got shit scared, so to speak. But anyways, we got the investments. So now we are more defensible than ever, and this is something that I intended in the first place for this Sogdian playthrough of why this exists. That I wanted this nation to be an economic powerhouse and defensive intensive, and we will now, from now on, only expand when it's absolutely necessary. And in the future, the Silk Road. Capital import routes and province import routes slightly up too, just to help out. That's for everywhere, mind you. Commerce up too, as well as the food. I'd love to build more libraries here, but do not forget, core law is just as important. And, well, no need for taverns. Freemen are particularly happy with that. It's the shrines is what's needed. Core law and shrines. So, start with this first. And I recall there's another place that I want to make my investment in, which is something that we're trying to, you know, get this for the lapis lazuli. We're here. And I had considered trying to add another investment to that down here as well. Yes, court of law here at Sibai. So it's all three. Look at all these distinctions. The pride of our army. And there will come a time that I will adopt the royal army, but not now. The stability is there, but just not the political influence. Don't forget about that city of Pishan over there, where you'll get the jade of Pishan. If you get enough slaves, which of course we're going to move plenty of them over there. I'm going to make them go over there. And then, after when that's all said and done, build a mill. Build, 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 till you get what you need. I'm going to put more emphasis to this. Murdered. And also, sooner or later, we gotta start investing in this city. It's growing as it is, but I can't build any buildings other than that one port we have there. You know what, let me take a look at the world real quick, since there's nothing much going on. They've gone big. It's a migratory tribe. They'll be a force to be reckoned with. Rome has, yeah, I get what this all is. Rome is soon becoming a major force, and they recently took Athens. I don't know how recent, but I say recent, just by the looks of it. The one thing I hope is they don't get together with Parthia. Otherwise, we consider them as a serious threat. Persian Empire keeps killing each other. Maccan-Persian War. And they want to take, what do they want? Which is part of the objective that was mentioned. The Maccan-Persian War. Karasine. Oh, this bit here. Which is not under full control. But it's just this one bit that they want. And more. Wait for it. Okay. Crisis in Salvira. The recent death of the Salvira rulers caused a great deal of political disturbance in the country. Eager to take advantage of the situation, numerous lackeys, pretenders, and legitimate claimants to the throne have risen up to bear arms against the newly crowned Vragias, Nefates Kosala. As the nation of Salvira is of interest to us, it might be we can exert certain influence over the more rowdy pretenders in hope of pledging their nation to further turmoil. Get it? Followers of Alexandria. There's a strong religious following practicing near Alexandria Eschate, gathered by Oxian. Ochu, this one, of course. The followers are holding their ceremonies in the front of large gatherings of people upon the steps of that colossal entryway. There is no evidence of ceremonies of this kind that have any benefits. There's also no evidence that the contrary is true. What the These are all terrible options, to be real honest. But I'll take this, even though he's gonna hate my guts at the end. So I'll say this is a distraction. There's already plenty of religious practices. I'll give you free hands. When he becomes too corrupt, we'll jail him. That's just a reminder. Now go back down there. Court of Law, Shrine. Citizens will be happy and will cause less trouble around here. And of course, you also inadvertently help out with these. It's 0 for both of these. You could build a granary here, but since, food tends to be a bit of an issue. And then you've got this very small population here. Well, not. And of course, down here, what's needed? Court of Law. Just remembered. I keep forgetting you exist. You've got no city. Oh, you do. You do have a city up in the mountains. Good for you. I might consider you bringing in as a client state whenever we integrate those two in the far future. I'll integrate them when we take Salvira. future. Oh boy, no wonder. Fabricated claim. One more area. And them too. Question of competence. After weeks of nervous looks and smirks in the court, the whispers of circulating files have finally reached the ears of the king. Seems that someone's been spreading rumors and spinning yards of his unequaled prolific and unfitness for the throne. The damage has been done, now all will look how the king will deal with this situation. Well, the negative trait's technically inflexible, that's the only one I have, so let's hope for that. It didn't, it just took the popularity drop. Which of course isn't good to anyone. Well, let's fix that. Coming of the city of Hishan. Our extension of new privileges and investments to local infrastructure of Hishan have grown from relative humility to a true Sogdian city. While it still has some way to go before it can rival the great cities of our age, the past 2 years have ushered a new era of growth and urbanization in the territory. So, there you have it. You got yourself a city. Now all we need is mills. I mean, I don't think it would be fair just to say, hey, this is a slave city. No, not a good idea. You know, in a long run. Perhaps we can lend some of them. No wonder why we've neglected this in the first place. You never took care of any kind of attention. You've never invested in this. What the hell is the matter with me? We do have enough money, so slave output, slaves needed for local surplus. It would help more if we get base resource production. And all that. Yeah, just 3 mills all the way in. When the population gets up further, then we'll start building something that will accommodate them. And let the population grow over time. Now let me see. 3 silk. Every 13 slave pop is plus 1 additional silk. Oh, we almost got it actually. Hang on. Look again. Look again. It's plus 3 now. And you know we don't have enough to so we gotta. Doesn't it cost money to move a slave? Why, yes. Yes, it does. So, let's raise some money here. Stone of Crows. I'm going to end this episode when we get to the national decision done. Mills, mills, mills. That's the name of the game. Now our troops will fight better in a future war of expansion down the Indus. A zealous and eccentric. Hold on, let me take a drink. The piety of our people is known to all that travel throughout the realm. Our realm. And for those with the economic means, it is viewed as an honor to personally bankroll to the annual religious festivals. Until recently, you have viewed as a prerogative to the nobility. But a few days ago, you received reports that gave you pause. An eccentric magistrate is funding the restoration of an ancient shrine. What was once brick and mud is now being transformed into marble. But not everything as it seems. Apparently, it seemed an unseemly amount was spent. My curiosity piqued. I pay a personal visit one day to see this marvel for myself. Then I am awestruck at what I find. Though the building itself is small, it is staggering architectural achievement, one that rivals the great buildings in South Tarim Basin for its beauty. I am dumbfounded by the extravagance. I'm practically tongue-tied when I see an old man coming out of the sanctuary, dressed in ceremonial robes and flanked by priests. Master, you do us all an honor by coming here. Adjusted around the official cackles, his eyes sparkling. I know this all mere babble, but you agree that the gods demand this and more. This is going to make me look corrupt, but I don't want to do that. Okay. You are an inspiration to us all. Continue the good work of my blessings. So, a little bit of stability up. But your income is fine. So just wait a few months, and then we're going to start moving slaves to Alexandria Eschate. And then we can get down to do some real business. Obviously not enough slaves to go around, because what you need is, look here. Numbers of goods greater or equal to 3 there, versus 4. It only produces 1. This is where the foundry would come in. Oh look, it's not there anymore. Our monthly research is so better than ever before. See, that's why I have not been going on the offense as of late. I am more focused on the citizenry and a few other things and all that. So here comes the silk of Alexandria Eschate. Let's get moving. And I do mean moving. Slaves, time to move. Look here. I don't care who you are or where you come from. You're coming to here. One, two, three. Every slave. Oh, this is going to be a slave-heavy city by the end of it. You're moving in. Oh. Come on, go over there. So 13 plus 13 is 24. So we need 3 more to move in. Okay. Who else is ready to be moved? You're going there. You're going over there. And you too. Oh yeah, gotta build a building because you've been moving these populations. Holy crud. We gotta build that tax office. Why are you not utilizing this? Okay then, keep moving. Yeah. Yeah. I know there's far too many slaves in here. Okay, that's it. We got enough. It's 26. You are way off. You are a dumb man. Your mathematics failed, Lord Master. Your mathematics have failed you. Now we gotta wait several more days for this tax office to be finished. I'll have him flogged for this. Stolen money from me. Make me more popular and legitimacy goes up. We'll end this episode as soon as we enact this decision, which is a great symbolic way to do that. I'll probably have to do the same thing to Samarkand soon. Which I'll be sure to spend it on population capacity if we were to... I mean, we do have an ounce, just please save more. It's just I'm happy that we no longer have bad research efficiency. Well, it's winter time now. That's usually when your food goes down, and then when winter goes away, then we're back up. And of course, sometimes slaves get promoted, so I'll be sure to move some of them back in here. And also, we gotta improve that regional center of trade here, knowing how important this city is. Tax office built, and this is the income we get. Okay, we'll move one more slave in here. Get in here. 4. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we're gonna end the episode with this. Alexandria Eschate currently produces silk that is excellent and admired for its lightness. And with a little bit of investment in the earth, we can see this thriving industry really begin to expand. So this area here permanently gets the silk of Alexandria Eschate. Local city building slots up. Base resource production goes up, so is the population promotion speed, so we don't have too much of that abundance of slaves that I just moved in here. And more importantly, the nobles locally will be more happier than ever, despite the fact that most of them aren't even Sogdians. In fact, the majority of them now are Sogdians, because we kept moving our people in here. Everybody wants to come here. In fact, for measure, bring the marble in. Just to make damn sure. Enact this decision. It is done. Now look, every 11, not 13 now, for the base resource production. And so we'll end this on April 1st. There you go. Okay, now it's 5. It's 5. That's what you get out of this. You don't need to import the marble anymore. That's fine. As long as the nobles are happy, the research is up all the way. In fact, it's up all the way because it's Sogdian now, because we moved all of Sogdian's peoples and others in here. And there's also other issues that we ought to take care of. Why have you never built a forum here? Built that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end the episode here. So, in the next episode, we may finally go back on the offense, back to warfare. Down the Indus we go. And as well as check up with all the other areas and such. And possibly turn Alexandria Eschate into a level 2 center of trade, just to drive that point forward of how important it is to us. Much like I make that American analogy earlier that I've stated before. Albany, New York City. Comparing that of, I was like, yeah, your capital is, but the largest city is this. Even though majority of the pops are slaves, but they're soon going to be promoted because I say so. Now, if only we could do the same thing to Dishan, which that will require some work to do. So we'll hope you join us for that in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.